Here I am breaking down this Bostitch miii, the stapler gun, commonly used for floor installation, staples. I kind of broke it down here, got all the parts and pieces. I had a broken piece here, which is the piston stem. As you can see, it snapped off. This tends to happen after abuse of the gun. The plunger stem, which goes on top of that. These all get O-rings, and the poppet. Some people repair these guns and they replace all the O-rings, which I have the O-ring kit here, the Arc 6, and the gun still leaks. So one of the problems with that might be is the poppet, which has a seal at the bottom. This seal, if it gets damaged, as you can see on my older ones, these kind of damaged on the bottom, so there's no air, so the air leaks through that part, and this one is actually missing the whole thing. Not sure if we could purchase these separate, this part, but I bought a new one, and I broke it down. I'm going to replace it with the new one. I repaired another gun. The same thing happened, and I replaced this poppet, and it seems to work fine now. After I replaced all the O-rings and everything, now I'm gonna put it back together here. First, I have to put the rod back on, the push pin that pushes the staples down into the wood. It's this piece here. Where is goes on this? Which goes on this. This is the new one. This goes in here with a little pin to hold that in. Then this piece here screws back on. There's an old O-ring on here. I'll be replacing that. Once you tighten this up, you got the wrenches. If you have the wrench kit, makes it a little bit easier. Put that in on there. This in on here. Get them even. And start tightening it up. Not the easiest thing to do until it gets all the way up to the top. It's a struggle. It's a little tight because once you put that pin in, it makes it tight, so it holds the pin in tight. Gotta get it even. Almost there. Little by little. Get that tight. There we go. Now that's on there. I'll be removing this old O-ring. I should have this open already. the glue, got the O-ring set, and some grease. O-ring grease. We'll just dump these out in the package here. They come with the pin. The pin actually is stuck on the paper, one of these pins here. It's on the paper that it comes with. Now, I'm gonna find the bigger one. This is the biggest one. And then there's a smaller one. So the bigger one goes on this piece here. You could put a little grease inside. I just tend to put some on the outside. Seems to work. After I get it all assembled, I'll put some grease on that. This one here, it kind of gets a clear one. This clear one that comes with the set, and it goes on the inside of this. This is the new one. This is nice and, the sealer looks like nice and even. Get the O-ring in can be a pain, but work it in with the pin into the slot. Some people may have a better trick for this, but the lighting in here isn't the greatest either. I push that in the slot there. Work it around. Work it around. You can just get it down there with your finger. These inside ones are a pain. Almost got there. I got it in there now. That rubber seal is installed. This one here. This one goes on the outside. If you're not sure where they go, usually you take off the old and put the new one, but this is a new piece, so I don't have the way it's set up. And then we need to put the inner one, which is this one. Goes on the inside of this is the plunger stem. Get my pin back here and work this seal into the stem. There's a little track inside there where this goes into, like so. There's more. There we go. That's installed. The outer and the inner. The inner and the outer on this. Now we're going to use a little bit of grease. Just grease up the outside of these rings. Grease up the inside. The outside. And the inside of the poppet. The main thing I want to get across is this piece here. That's questionable on a lot of people. That this is what one of the parts of the inspection when you do take it apart is to inspect this ring here. This goes over top. Again with the wrench kit, it's on the bottom. This piece here goes over the top. Give it a little tightening. Make sure it's snug. Obviously, it's aluminum parts. You don't want to bend them too much and break anything. Okay. Now, we have this piece. I tend to like to clean things off because they get really dirty and oily and greasy. Try and get it clean. So you can inspect it too. Make sure it's not bent or damaged. I'm going to install this O-ring. Goes on the outside of the top of the poppet. Screws onto the poppet. After you insert it in the gun, this screws on into these holes. I'm going to do a little grease on this. I'm going to take our main piece. I'm going to drop this in. Should fit snug in there with the grease on it.